Summer look at Idaho's amazing art scene continues. Two more iconic organizations that make it rich and robust, vibrant and varied. We've focused on Opera Idaho and Ballet Idaho. Today, we put the spotlight on the Boise Philharmonic and Boise Art Museum. The Boise Phil, heading into a new season with new leadership and the promise of a new musical adventure. BAM! Getting ready for a September staple in the City of Trees, Art in the Park, plus what the museum offers year-round. Ahead on Viewpoint.
From Idaho's News Channel 7, this is Viewpoint.
And welcome to Viewpoint. I'm Doug Petcash. The Boise Philharmonic and Boise Art Museum are two of the oldest arts organizations in Idaho. They have deep, deep roots here. The Philharmonic got its start more than about 130 years ago. BAM more than 80 years ago. We start today with the Boise Philharmonic. It's getting ready for what it calls an ambitious and masterful 2018-19 season. The first performances are September 7th and 8th. It comes at a time when a lot of new things are happening for an orchestra that can trace its history back to the 1880s. There's the new season, of course, a new visual identity, a new executive director, and a fairly new music director going into his second season. The new logo also shortens the name from Boise Philharmonic to Boise Phil. Well, we have a lot to talk about today with my guests, Boise Phil Executive Director Hollis Welsh and also Music Director Eric Garcia, who came to Boise after serving as the assistant conductor of the Seattle Symphony. So thank you both for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
I really do appreciate it. Let's start with the rebranding, the look, the new logo with the tagline, Discover, Delight, Connect. What's the idea or feeling that you're trying to convey to your audiences? Let me start with you on that one, Eric.
Well, I think with Discover, I think if you're a seasoned patron, if you've come to our concerts for years, if you're somebody who's coming for the first time, there's always something new. And I think even as a conductor, every time you look at a piece of music, no matter how many times you've conducted it, you're always trying to discover something new. And that's what's so great about this music, I think, is that it really invites a new interpretation, either as a performer or a listener every time. And we want, obviously, our audiences to delight in what they're hearing. And I think that these terms are really part of the process. You know, coming to a concert's different for everybody. And I think that, like I said, if you're coming as a first-timer or an old-timer, all of these things are really applicable in a way.
And also, as part of the description, Hollis, you're inviting people to come be part of the join the musical adventure. What do you mean by that? Why is it an adventure?
Well, we have introduced new series this season. So we have our classical series. We also have our very first pop series. We have a 3-concert pop series, and the idea of that is to open up our doors to people who maybe haven't come to our classical concerts in the past. The idea is they're more family friendly, they're fun, and we really do want to say it's an adventure.
And recognizable, I think, is a big thing. People know the music, and whether they've heard it in commercials or movies or something.
Exactly, exactly. And to see that music played live by a 78-person Philharmonic is quite powerful and quite moving.
Now, I wanted to ask you briefly. You just joined with the Philharmonic as executive director in April, I believe,
did. Yes,
right?
That's correct.
But you're from here. You've been an actress on stage. You were also the interim managing director for Boise Contemporary Theater.
Correct.
So why did you think that this was a good fit for you and for the Philharmonic to become the executive director?
That's a good question. I think, you know, there is a transference from performing arts organizations. I think by and large, you know, we offer a performance that we want to connect with the audience through, and so I think that's transferable. But I was looking for an opportunity to grow as an executive director and to actually learn another art form, and so stepping into the Philharmonic world it's been incredible. There's been a lot to learn, but it's been so enriching and so fulfilling.
And is the focus audience building?
Yeah, that's part of it, definitely. I mean, really, at the end of the day, we want to get on stage or go into communities and offer music, which is the universal language, so that we really can connect with as many people in the Treasure Valley and beyond as possible.
So, Eric, with that in mind, then, how do you feel heading into season number 2 under your conductorship, maestroship? What's the correct term to use there?
You know, it's just incredibly exciting because I've only been here for 1 season, but so much happens in a season. Once everything gets going in September until you finish up in May, it's so incredibly exciting that I feel like I've been through quite a lot, but a lot of great things. And I feel like that I've gotten to know the community really well. The musicians and I have developed a relationship, the staff, the board and I feel like that within one season you build up quite a lot of traction, shall we say. And so going into a second season, I'm only excited.
I want to show people just a clip of part of a performance from last season, I believe, to give them an idea of your style, but also how the orchestra sounds. So take a listen to this. Okay, so Eric, then what do you have in store then for audiences for this season? What are some of the performances you have planned?
Well, you know, for our classic series, we like to feature works of the great traditional classical composers such as Tchaikovsky and Beethoven and Mozart. And as Hollis said, of course, our pop series, we really wanted to open it up to, well, what I love about this season really is that there's something there for everyone. So if you are more of a classicist, shall we say, we have this repertoire. But for the pops, John Williams, Star Wars.
Is there something for Star Wars fans?
You know, if you happen to be, if you've ever heard of the film Star Wars and that small franchise, we actually are starting on September 22nd, our pop series with a live showing, 2 shows back to back on that day. A live showing of the original 1977 film, Star Wars. And so the actual film will be shown on the screen in the Morrison Center, the enormous screen in the Morrison Center. And underneath, the actual Philharmonic, Boise Philharmonic, will be performing John Williams' incredibly trademark score, incredibly difficult score underneath. So I think if you're a first-timer, if you're an old-timer,
good introduction.
This is a great introduction because it's incredible music. You get to hear this amazing score performed live, and you get to enjoy the film.
And okay, so that's the 20th.
22nd. Yes.
The first performances this year are the 7th and 8th. What is the music that will be performed?
So this particular, to kick off our 59th season as the Boise Phil, or Boise Philharmonic under that title, I wanted to have a celebration concert for the first concert. And so we're beginning with this wonderful work by a young composer, Anna Klein, who is originally from the UK but now resides in Brooklyn. And she wrote this beautiful, really exciting piece called Masquerade. And it's just it's an opener that gets everyone excited, ready to go. It's colorful, it's splashy, it's rhythmic, it's melodic. And then a great award-winning, just veteran pianist, John Nakamatsu, will join us for Saint-Saëns' beloved second piano concerto. And then really the height of the evening is Brahms' Symphony No. 1. And it's just one of those seminal works.
And how do people get tickets?
BoisePhil.org, or they can call our hotline 344-7849, and they can order tickets.
And you really work to make those tickets affordable.
We do. So really you can see almost anything we do for $25. So a family of 4 can go to our family-friendly programming for $100. Star Wars is a bit more. It's about $45 to start.
How would you say the support for the Boise Phil is in our community?
It's strong. It's strong. One thing that is different in the orchestral world that I found is we have these incredible individuals who step up and sponsor our concerts, sponsor our series. It's been quite impressive and just really kind of awe-inspiring to see the kind of individual support from the members of our community, as well as companies and organizations, grants and foundations that step up and really support this work.
And Eric, you've conducted with orchestras around the country. How's the reputation of the Boise Philharmonic now that you've moved into this main position? Well,
before I was here, it was certainly very, very high. And of course, living in other parts of the country, I always knew of the Boise Philharmonic and its strong reputation. And I think that one thing that, since I've been here, we've really tried to do, and that I think we've successfully done, is explore all kinds of repertoires. So not only the classics, but we're a brave orchestra. I like to think we're a really brave organization and have support to do so. You can't do so without support. But we're a brave organization that's able to perform more contemporary music, music written by living young composers, and we want to encourage that. It just keeps the cycle of great music going on and on and on. And I think that that's one of the things that sets us apart. We have a pop series, we have our classical series, but we also perform music of living composers. We like to be part of the kind of live bloodstream of what's happening in the music world and in the arts world.
I want to ask you, I don't know if we can roll the video again of Eric conducting the orchestra, but I want to ask you, do you consider yourself to be a performer, a conductor, or what is actually going through your mind when you're on the dais doing on the podium doing the conducting?
You know, at the end of the day, what the orchestra and I want to do is communicate to the audience. So we want to always communicate what we're doing on stage to the audience. When I'm on the podium, I'm really thinking about the orchestra, first and foremost, not about myself at all. It's not about the conductor. The conductor is only a means to an end. They're only there to make the orchestra the very best that it can be, or to help in any way they can. And at the end of the day, that will communicate with the audience. So I've never seen a conductor someone who needs to jump around on the podium or fly off the podium for that matter. Unless they have a great health plan.
Okay.
But really there to serve the orchestra and really let the orchestra be free. The orchestra is an incredibly and talented and smart organism. And so if you just let them just be and really allow them to just be free and let them do their own thing, I think the audience picks up on that immediately.
Well, I do want to just ask real briefly, Hollis,
yes,
your thoughts heading into this first season under your executive leadership.
We, you know, I keep saying baby steps, baby steps. You know, we've already implemented a lot of progressive change. It's small, I think it's palatable, but I think our new look and feel says a lot about who we want to be in our community. We're colorful, there's an adventure going on, and we really want to stress that we want our doors to be open to everybody in our community. And if people can't come to us in the concert hall, we are now taking strides to really get out into the community more than we've done in the past and show up where people can see us.
Well, it sounds like you have a very ambitious schedule planned for this upcoming 2018-2019 season, so best wishes on that. And thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you.
Well, from the 130-year-old Boise Philharmonic, we'll turn to its much younger colleague in the arts community, the 86-year-old Boise Art Museum. Still ahead on Viewpoint, how BAM is keeping itself relevant and fresh and encouraging the next generation to appreciate art.
Ta 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 ta.
What are you doing?
I'm enjoying the American Classical.
It's the American Classic All-American Dog and Tots for $2.99.
I'm sorry, the All-American Dog and
Tots. Give me that.
Choose a chili cheese coney or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger with tots for just $2.99.
Need to refresh a room in your home?
Yep, this one.
Well, right now at Furniture Row, you can get a look you love starting at just $10 a month.
$10 a month?
That's right, just $10 a month. It's the anniversary sale at Furniture Row, where you'll find hundreds of incredible rooms starting at just $10 a month. Plus, 5 years no-interest financing.
Honey, we're going to Furniture Row!
Enjoy the largest selection for the lowest prices, only at Furniture Row.
Cable One brings high-speed internet to the greatest town on Earth. Yours. Where your life story is written on every street corner. At Cable One, it's where we call home, too. So the place you're most connected to is the place where you're connected to the world. The place that means everything is the place you can do anything. Cable One, high-speed internet comes home.
Hi, I'm Matt Grandin here for Deal Boss. It's time for you to take charge of the stuff you really want and be your own Deal Boss. Deal Boss! Go to facebook.com/DealBoss for your best deals on everything from phones to drones, sneakers to speakers. We've got the best prices, exclusive products, and lots more only here on the Deal Boss Facebook page. Follow us, facebook.com/DealBoss.
The Deal Boss, weekdays on today's Morning News.
To 50-cent corn dogs, the greatest invention of all time.
to their golden corn breading.
Yeah, and to two handsome guys in the prime of their lives.
Yes, to me and that guy, wherever he may be.
For one day only, Sonic's corn dogs are just 50 cents. Get them all day, August 23rd.
Welcome back to Viewpoint. I'm Doug Petcash. We're shining a late summer spotlight on Idaho's amazing art scene. The Boise Art Association, Inc. got its start back on December 3rd, 1932. Now, 86 years later, it's still going strong as the Boise Art Museum, commonly known as BAM, one of the true foundation stones of Idaho's art scene and community, not only exhibiting the works of some fantastic artists, but also inspiring learning through its exceptional exhibitions, collections, and educational opportunities, as its mission statement lays out. This is always an exciting time of year for BAM as it gears up for the very popular Art in the Park, which will be held September 7th through the 9th at Julia Davis Park. Here to talk about all of that is my next guest, BAM's Executive Director, Melanie Fales. Melanie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start off with Art in the Park. What do you have planned this year?
We have a wonderful festival planned. We have 260 artists who are going to be a part of Art in the Park this year. 101 of those artists are Idaho artists. We have 49 new artists, so people will be able to come and find their old favorites, but then they'll be able to see some new artwork as well.
So this is kind of a double purpose for the event, right? It's raise money for BAM, but also support artists.
Absolutely. So this is Boise Art Museum's largest fundraiser, and it's the largest event in Julia Davis Park, and it certainly supports Idaho artists as well as artists from throughout the United States, mostly in the Northwest, but throughout the United States.
How much money do you typically raise on this one event?
This event represents between 20 and 25% of Boise Art Museum's budget annually. So it is a significant event for us and one that the community has supported for more than 64 years. This is our 64th
year.
Art in the Park. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. And how do you use the money that's raised?
So we use the money to support all of the Boise Art Museum, our exhibitions, our collections, and our education program.
Now let's talk about the museum. Oh, again, let's remind people though, the Art in the Park, the 7th through the 9th of September, and admission is free.
Completely free.
But you have to buy art and food and things like that.
That's right. So all of the purchases support the Boise Art Museum.
Okay. Now, BAM, the museum itself.
Yes.
1932.
Yes.
And it's actually been in Ann Morrison Park, I think, since Julia Davis Park, since what, 1937?
That's right. Yes, so Boise Art Museum was founded during the Great Depression, and it was a grassroots effort. So it was something that was extremely important in our community. So the visual arts was definitely a priority, and we see that through the development of the Boise Art Museum, as it's called today.
And it has definitely blossomed into what it is today. So when someone steps in the doors this week or next week, whenever they get a chance to, what are they going to see inside the museum now?
When they walk inside the museum today, they're going to see a larger-than-life guardian standing inside the museum, which is exciting. It is an artwork created by an Italian artist named Matteo Pugliese, and this is his first museum exhibition in the United States. So we have an entire collection of his work called The Guardians. Some are smaller scale guardians, but the one that you will experience when you walk in the door is a large.
Is it that one?
This is it, yes. So he's there to protect the museum and protect the visual arts here in our community.
And now what makes it special that this exhibit is here?
So this is an international exhibition, and so this is something that people would not be able to experience otherwise. As I mentioned, this is the first exhibition in the United States of this artist's work. So without traveling to Italy, people wouldn't be able to experience this work of art.
That is really cool.
Yes.
It's right here in our community.
That's right.
How many different exhibitions are there on display?
Right now we have 5 different exhibitions on display. Throughout the year we have approximately 16 exhibitions that we rotate through the museum. So there's something new every time you step through our front doors. So along with the Matteo Pugliese exhibition that we have right now, we also have an exhibition called Cercle et Carré, which is French for circle and square. It's also an international exhibition, and it's representing work by artists from the late 1920s who came together to create kind of a manifesto to change where modern art was headed. So they moved it from surrealism to abstraction. This was a pivotal time in art history, so it's an amazing exhibition for people to see this work together really for the first time since the 1920s.
What is I touched on it a little bit in the intro in this segment, but what is the mission of Boise Art Museum?
So the mission of the Boise Art Museum is to create exceptional visual arts experiences that engage and inspire people and create learning. And we do that through our exhibitions and our collections and our education programs.
Now, the education programs, that's kind of the outreach. What do those include? What are your education programs?
So we have programs for people of all ages, from toddlers through seniors. We have a toddler day that is kind of unusual for art museums, and we invite children and their parents or grandparents or aunts and uncles to come into the museum and experience the museum through not only the exhibitions that we have, but also hands-on art making as well. We have an outreach program into our schools that serves more than 16,000 students coming to the museum, and also we go out into rural classrooms as well. And so that's a huge part of our education program. We also have programs for seniors, and this is also an art making component so that they can experience making art as well as appreciating the works of art on the walls.
You mentioned that almost half of the artists who will be at Art in the Park are Idahoans.
Yes.
Does the museum itself focus on Idaho artists or include them? What's the philosophy there?
Our vision really is to be a partner in the cultural, educational, and artistic life of our community. And so we also want to be a leader in the visual arts locally, nationally, and regionally. So we certainly have a local focus as well as a regional, national, and international focus.
I asked the folks from the Boise Philharmonic basically, how do you, the best way to introduce somebody to that art form.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell somebody who says, I've never been to the Boise Art Museum, I'm not really kind of person who likes painting or whatever, so I don't think I'll go. What would you say? Well, might want to give it a shot.
Here's the wonderful thing about stepping into the Boise Art Museum is that you might walk through the doors and see something that you know or are familiar with, but then you might take a few more steps and see something that you've never experienced before. And to me, that's the beauty of it, is that you may come in and see something familiar, but then be exposed to something that you didn't expect and be surprised by that. And I would just say, be open to that experience and come in and see if there's something that is surprising to you.
And you touched on it already too, in the sense that somebody who already has been there can always see something new too because of those rotating exhibitions.
That's right. We have exhibitions changing throughout our entire year.
How is the support locally for BAM?
The support is fabulous. As I mentioned, we were a grassroots effort coming into our own as an art museum, and we continue to be supported well by our community. We receive funds through earned revenue sources, of course, such as admissions and our store sales. And then we also have contributed revenue from the many, many generous individuals and corporations in our community.
And National Endowment for the Arts too, and
yes,
the Idaho Arts Commission?
We've had very good success with our grants with National Endowment for the Arts, with the Institute of Museum and Library Services, the Idaho Commission on the Arts, and others.
So what do you see for the museum? You've been executive director for 10 years?
About 10 years.
What do you see for the museum in the next 10 years?
I see the Boise Art Museum playing a pivotal role in the visual arts culture in our community, and continuing to grow and continuing to bring these exciting experiences for people at the Boise Art Museum through our exhibitions and our continually growing education programs and collection as well.
Well, before you know it, it's going to be the 100th year.
That's right.
I know it's 14 years, but that'll go by quickly.
Yes, it goes by very quickly.
All right. So, Melanie, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it. And
thank you,
best
Doug.
wishes on Art in the Park.
Thank you.
And also on the exhibitions that you have planned for the next 12 months as well.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Well, still ahead on Viewpoint, a freaky cool outdoor art gallery. Just added some new work that's worth seeing. Stay around. Stay tuned.
Need to refresh a room in your home?
Yep, this one.
Well, right now at Furniture Row, you can get a look you love starting at just $10 a month.
$10 a month?
That's right, just $10 a month. It's the anniversary sale at Furniture Row, where you'll find hundreds of incredible rooms starting at just $10 a month. Plus, 5 years no interest financing.
Honey, we're going to Furniture Row!
Enjoy the largest selection for the lowest prices, only at Furniture Row.
A bathroom should be more than just the place to get ready for the day. It should be your favorite room in the house, and it will be when you trust it to America's most experienced remodel specialist, Rebath. Call Rebath for a free in-home design consultation today.
Get the best deal on admission and ultimate rides, win prizes, and explore Idaho in virtual reality. KTVB Family Day at the Western Idaho Fair is Monday. It's an alcohol and smoke-free day the whole family can enjoy. Don't miss KTVB Family Day. Join us for the 11th annual Pooch Party Stroll and Splash, Saturday, August 25th at Lakeview Park in Nampa. You and your best friend can enjoy a 1-mile walk around the park, followed by a swim at Lakeview Water Park, with contests, pet-friendly booths, and a raffle of great prizes. All proceeds from this event support dog parks in Nampa. A fun day for you and your pooch, and support of a great cause, all for just $25. For more information, go to ktvb.com. The Pooch Party Stroll and Splash, August 25th at Lakeview Park in Nampa. Come meet our team, spin the wheel of prizes, and explore Idaho in virtual reality. Plus, get the best deal on fair admission and rides. KTVB Family Day at the Western Idaho Fair is Monday. It's an alcohol and smoke-free day the whole family can enjoy. $29 gets you fair admission and 1 Carnival wristband good for ultimate rides all day Monday. Don't miss KTVB Family Day on Monday.
Well, it is a gallery of a different kind, and a gallery definitely worth visiting, and it's right out in the open. Some brand new artwork was unveiled in the downtown Boise Freak Alley Gallery during an event earlier this month. We caught up with artist Michael Ackerman, who tells us what it's like to paint a masterpiece on one of the alley walls.
I'd done stuff like, about this and big canvas and stuff, but never on a giant wall like this. I had to get on a scaffold and be on a ladder that was on a scaffold. And when I got here and I started, it went pretty well, and people were coming up to me telling me I was doing a good job, so it was encouraging.
It's nice work. If you've never been to Freak Alley, it's easy to get to. It's right downtown. It's off of 9th Street and between Idaho and Bannock. So again, right off 9th Street between Idaho and Bannock Streets. Lots to check out in Freak Alley. Well, that is all of our time for this week's Viewpoint. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Doug Petcash. I'll see you tomorrow on today's Morning News and right back here next Sunday morning for another Viewpoint.